Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This morning we're going to talk briefly about ethics in ministry. Under this subject, we want to cover three key areas: one-on-one ministry, interaction with the opposite gender, and dealing with personal issues. Starting with one-on-one ministry, first we want to cover confidentiality. The person being ministered to needs to be confident their personal and private business will not be disclosed. They have the expectancy of privacy, just like when they're speaking with a doctor or a lawyer. Another point to this is the Bible also tells us not to gossip. We should not be spreading out the information we find or business of people that we minister to out into the public. When we do this, this brings up the third point on confidentiality. We can lose trust by unauthorized disclosure. So we do need to keep those conversations confidential. There also, when we minister to somebody one-on-one, there may be applicable reporting laws. We need to keep this in mind. There are in some states requirements to report certain crimes, especially when they endanger children. So we need to make sure we are aware of what our local laws pertain to as far as confidentiality. And they're called disclosure laws, so we need to be aware of the disclosure laws when it comes to ministry. Laws usually pertain to ongoing potential harm to themselves or others. We also need to understand the potential need for outside help when we minister to other people. Our primary counseling must be biblical in nature. We are not trained psychologists, so sometimes we may need to point those people to a psychologist for professional help. We must be familiar with outside resources available in our area in order to refer people to additional help. Some of those may be abuse counseling, psychological help, suicide prevention. On our next area we want to cover interaction with the opposite gender. So there is a potential for temptation when ministering to the opposite gender or spending time with the opposite gender. So we want to prevent the appearance of misconduct. One-on-one time with a member of the opposite sex should be avoided. We should have somebody else with us at all times and make sure that we have 3 or 4 people with us to prevent false accusations. And it also avoids jealousy and by partners on either side. So if a married person is spending too much time with another person, their partner may get jealous. There's potential for temptation. When you spend too much time together, you get too familiar. That physical temptation resulting from private, unchaperoned time could exist. There's also emotional connection can result and become part of that temptation. We should avoid isolating interactions. These interactions could be traveling together or just conducting business together. We should, like I said earlier, we should have an extra person with us whenever possible. If that's not possible, keep the doors open, especially if in an office situation, and then meet in public areas. All right. Then the next point, dealing with personal issues, temptation and sin. We must be attentive to temptation and turn from it as soon as we realize it. This is for the minister in particular. Healthy relationships with friends and accountability partners can be helpful. They can point out when it seems like you're having an issue. Some of those issues may be burnout and stress. They can lead to temptation to sin. They can also lead to chemical dependence as a coping mechanism, such as turning to alcohol or drugs. And burnout and stress can also result in behavioral changes. Some of those behavioral changes may be either depression or anger, and they could cause problems in your ministry. So we should seek out a work-life balance. Take Sabbath time to rest and be restored. Do not neglect time with family and friends. Do not neglect physical health, and do not neglect mental health. We need to keep in mind that ministry is a marathon and not a sprint. Marathon runners know they need not only to take care of themselves, but their bodies. So as a minister, we need to do likewise, take care of our bodies and our minds, and have work-life balance, and make sure we're ethical in our ministry. Thank you.